used around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. On infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections.
If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who want it until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious.
Violence and vandalism is being led by Antifa and other radical left-wing groups who are terrorizing the innocent, destroying jobs, hurting businesses, and burning down buildings. Always remember, they are coming after me because I am fighting for you. That's what's happening.
Greetings, fellow thought criminals, and thank you for joining the Insurrection. I'm Michael Lauber. This is Derrick Evans, and it's yet another glorious week in America's new golden age.
Hey, that it is, man. As always, guys, like, share, subscribe, all those good things. Whatever platform you're on, we appreciate it. If you have a Rumble account, head over to our Rumble channel, X America News. Give us a follow over there. It would help us more than you can imagine. Regardless, whatever platform you guys are watching on today, make sure you share it out. And then leave a little comment. I read all the comments. I do my best to give you guys a shout out, kind of like this. Over in the X chat, we got Maurice, Nick, Thaddeus, Kristen, JR, and Sean. All good morning to all you guys. Appreciate you for tuning in. We got an awesome show lined up for you guys here today.
Yeah, and if you guys have any great memes, send them in, drop them in the comments, because we may, as long as there's not other like critical breaking news this Friday, I think we're going to do another meme review. We did one about a month ago. You guys seem to like it, and I think it's about time for another one. But we got a lot to talk about today. So, Justin, theme of President Trump's first address of his second term to Congress revealed, and it's essentially going to be revitalizing the renewal of the American dream. And again, I think this is right on point, right on message for President Trump, especially considering all that's already been accomplished in just a little over 30 days.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about this. As you said, I think most of us already know all the things he's accomplished up to this point, but really the average person doesn't keep up with these things the way that we do. So it's really important in that regard. I think it's going to be awesome. The left is going to lose their minds at this. I think we're covering this a little bit later, but I think it's going to be very telling into the guests that President Trump has on hand there to help drive home some of his messaging, and I'm really looking forward to it, and definitely gonna be watching that here tonight.
Well, I think it's really going to also stand in stark contrast to this just absolute garbage the mainstream media constantly reports, where everything is negative, everything's world ending, everything's a crisis. Trump and his administration can't accomplish anything good, and this is going to stand again. This is going to highlight that contrast to what the Democrat deep state messaging is on everything Trump's done, and again, just show why they're so irrelevant. But yeah, you're right. The Democrat plan is to cry like babies. Democrat lawmakers plotting ways to childly disrupt Trump's speech to Congress. This is going to include, I guess they're bringing those little hand clapper things, you shake back and forth, little kids' toys, and eggs. They didn't care about Bidenflation for 4 years. They didn't care about food prices, toilet paper prices, anything else, and how its effect on Americans was. And now all of a sudden it's an issue. In the last 30 days, suddenly it's a problem. And now all of a sudden they're talking about this economic downturn that we're headed into. And it isn't just us, it's the entire world. This never mattered while Biden was office. It was all sunshines, rainbows, and unicorn farts. And now all of a sudden that Trump's in, the world is in a dire state of affairs.
Oh, well, of course. Well, first, I want to give a shout out to Nobody Special. You are somebody special, for the record. Nobody Special, Diana, Bling, HG, Derrick M, appreciate you guys for tuning in. HG says, I want to hear what talking about President Trump. I want to hear what President Trump has to say about the Zelensky debacle and what he'll do going forward. I'm excited to hear about that as well. Something I do want to keep in mind for everybody, I mentioned it to Mike earlier. As long as the elected Democrat officials are respectfully disrupting,
Protesting.
I guess, as a way of saying it. We do need to be cautious here. Like, I know that I cheered when Marjorie Taylor Greene and a few others, shouted out and interrupted Joe Biden's same speech. So, and I enjoyed that, and I was happy about it. So, even though we disagree with them, as long as they're going to be respectful and not shut the whole thing down, and actually, they blurt something out and then go back to being quiet and listening, I'm fine with that. I can disagree with them. I can think they're stupid for what they're saying, but I do support their freedom to do that, because I love it when we have the opportunity to do the same thing when the shoe was on the other foot not too long ago. So I just wanted to throw that out there and remind people of that as well.
Yeah. And, I have a feeling if that's what they do, I mean, Trump is going to clap back at him if they disrupt his speech. But you're right. If they do it continuously, if they behave like children and they act like some of these moonbat protesters in D.C. that show up with a megaphone and just scream at people trying to make a speech, if they're just nonstop noise and disruption, then, that's just taking things away from the American people. But if they want to have their little outbursts and everything else, considering what they're going to be on, and that, they've apparently aligned themselves with all issues that want to doom their party, that they're on this suicidal rampage right now, that's fine, because I think that'll be an opportunity to also call them out on it and call them out for their childish behavior. You're unmuted.
I was unmuted. I muted it. I want to give a shout out to Coma over here, and then Luke Lentz as well. Luke Lentz is my fellow January 6th political prisoner and patriot, and shout out to you, man. Diana says, it's an excellent question, Diana. Diana says, do Democrats ever do things respectfully? And that's a great point, that they do not. We should maybe reward them if they do. I'm curious. I get the hand clappers. Well, I don't get it, but I understand what they're planning to do with it. I should
they're
say.
too old and frail to, clap or disrupt on their own.
That's true. Yeah. They might get a heart attack, get their heart rate going too much. I don't know, but what are the plans with the eggs? I don't understand that. Are they planning to throw eggs at the president of the United States of America? Like, surely to goodness, that is not their plan. But what else would you like? They don't make noise. Are they going to throw them on the floor and break them there? Once again, that's destroying the people's house. That's way worse than I did on January 6th. So, like, what is the plan with the eggs? I don't understand that part of what they are planning to do. Do you have any insight on that?
I mean, I suppose they're just planning to try to blame Trump for, Kathy Hochul and others murdering gazillions of chickens over bird flu, swine flu. I can't even remember what they're upset about right now. Okay. What disease they're trying to. Yeah, egg prices. I mean, if they're going to throw them, that's assault. So hopefully they do. That'd be a great way to clear a lot of dead weight out of Congress, at least for a few months while they're sitting in jail. So hopefully they do plan on throwing them.
That would be nuts. I didn't think about the egg prices sort of things. I have my own chickens, so I don't pay attention to egg prices. I would recommend everybody, if you don't live in an apartment building and you don't have a stupid HOA telling you can't, go get you a couple chickens. You'll thank me later for that. But yeah, so I didn't think about it from that perspective. Still, it makes no sense. It's amazing how these people defended all of the policies that created the economy and the inflation that we're dealing with today. The Democrats, every Democrat official not only defended it, they cheered it on as these policies were being implemented to put us into this position. Within 24 hours of President Trump being sworn into office, they're like, wow, look at the egg prices. What is President Trump doing to help out with inflation? It's like, are you guys kidding me right now? You spent the last 4 years, cheering on and promoting the policies that led us to here, and you don't even give the guy time to unpack his bags back in the White House before you start doing that. Make no mistake, we're less than 2 months into this presidential term right now. Everything that we are experiencing in terms of the inflation and the price of all these things, this is from 4 years of the illegitimate Biden regime. No one who is capable of having a logical thought and thinking for themselves would look at this situation and conclude that this is the direct result of 2 months, not even 2 months, of policies from President Trump. It's insane. And the fact that they've all been given the same script to read over and over and over to push that out there, I guess that is their plan at this point, is to just try to say these lies enough that their base starts to believe it. Sadly, some of them will, but I think the majority of people know better.
Yeah, I mean, the Democrats masquerading as journalists, there to support the deep state. For 4 years, they lied about Bidenflation. Remember, it was transitory, then it was a good thing, it didn't exist. Just any lie they could tell. They even changed how they calculated some of these things. Remember, they didn't want to say that we were in a recession when we were in a recession, and they made up some mumbo jumbo why Biden's recession wasn't a real recession. But this is who they are. They lie through their teeth. And twist the truth to whatever's convenient for the narrative for the deep state and the Democrats. So the American people have woken up to this. They already know they can't be trusted. No one believes the media, and the people do want to see real change. And let's go ahead and jump forward here a little bit. Trump halts all military aid to Ukraine as Zelensky feud intensifies. And you've got some updated information on this. He's apparently trying to cry his way back into Trump's circle.
He is. Let me pull it up because I don't want to get this wrong. So Zelensky, literally right before we went on live here, Zelensky issued a new statement, and he says, "Our meeting in Washington at the White House on Friday did not go the way it was supposed to be. It is regrettable that it happened this way. It's time to make things right. My team and I stand ready." So Zelensky, to me, I know he's a very prideful person. I know I've seen enough of his personality to see how he is. That is Zelensky's way of swallowing his pride, apologizing on the world stage, and saying that he is ready to make a deal. Luckily, President Trump doesn't hold grudges when it comes to the betterment of humanity. Will he hold a political grudge? And if you go against him and try to primary you or something, absolutely, that's different. But in this situation where thousands and thousands of people are dying, it's affecting millions and millions of people, and President Trump wants peace, I'm confident that President Trump is not going to hold a grudge on that. He's going to say, come back to the table. He might hold it against him a little bit and say, now we need a little bit more minerals or something, but he's still going to work with him to make this deal, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, well, I think Zelensky's also watching his other perceived options slip away. Let me go ahead and pull up our next story. Because, another Macron plan goes down the drain. 30-day Ukraine ceasefire deal fails to gain any traction. UK distances itself. Italy calls it premature. Well, yeah, they don't have the power or really even the resources to go in and fight Ukraine's war for them. I mean, all of Europe is in decline. Vance had a really excellent statement on this yesterday, but then the media, of course, twisted it into something else, tried to say that Vance said that France and the UK couldn't fight or win a war, or hadn't fought and won a war in 40 or 50 years. They're desperate, though, for anything right now, in any shift in the balance of power back to the globalists, but they just don't have it. They don't have the resources. They don't have an enforcement mechanism. Starmer seems to want boots on the ground in war with Russia, and if that's what happens, we need to withdraw from NATO and not get drawn into their conflict. The only real choice for Ukraine right now is to take Trump's peace deal and in this conflict with Russia, because otherwise, they are totally out of resources. And since we've cut off all funding, all ammunition, all everything, they don't even know if they have the supplies to make it through the end of spring.
That's exactly right. I want to give some shout outs here. We got Annie Cyrus in the Rumble chat. Always good to see you, Annie. We got Uncle Benny in the X chat over here, along with Derrick Olinde. Shelly Parsons says, if only Democrats loved their country more than they hate President Trump. And that is a fact. That would be amazing. We got Gentry over here. We've got, sorry, I'm trying to get caught up. Nick M. Appreciate you guys as well. And then Gentry says Zelensky is a coward. And I have to agree 100%. Zelensky is a coward. He's a joke. He's the greatest scam artist and grifter of all time. President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance sat in that Oval Office, looked Zelensky in the eye, and told him what all of us have been wanting to tell him for a few years. Actually, I would have been a lot worse. So they did it in a very professional way, I guess you could say, and I'm thankful for that. Zelensky, to your point, Mike, I think that he has slowly realized that these other countries are not going to like America has helped more than any other country, and these other countries are not going to step up. There was an interesting study that a poll that came out. I think I shared it last night, or maybe I commented on my X or whatever. But anyways, there was a poll that came out. Don Jr. shared it, I know, where they polled these European countries, and they all said that Ukraine needs more support, more funding, more help. But then they were all asked, well, what about from your country and your stuff? And all of them said, well, not from us. I mean, we're doing enough. Like, other countries need to step up more. So all of them, all the people over in Europe are like, Ukraine needs more help from America. They don't want to help themselves and come out and actually put their money where their mouth is. So they can take the virtue signaling and go kick rocks, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly. They want more money from the magical money tree, where, you know, we just print it and it falls out of the sky. They want to saddle us with more debt because it doesn't affect them. It's like we talked about yesterday. You know, we're still paying for 70% of Europe's defense, and that's going to end soon. It really needs to stop immediately. It's time for these all these countries to step up and at least pretend to be adults again. I mean, they can still have all the other insanity they want to. They can still doom their country with open borders and unfettered spending and endless welfare programs, but you're going to have to step up and start paying for your own defense. We're tired of doing it for you. And, you know, this has been the other, big, air quote shock. It shouldn't be a shock to anybody, but CNN data analyst, Trump's approval rating on Ukraine, Russia is far higher than Biden's, a different planet entirely. So they have this kind of on here in sort of a confusing way. But basically what this means is Biden's average of approval and how he was handling the Russia-Ukraine conflict was hovering around 28%. So he was 22 points below 50%. Whereas Trump is currently at about plus 2%, so 52%. Again, that's not a great average, not nearly as good as the approval for DOGE or border security or other things. But it just illustrates Trump is on track with where the American people are, and the Democrats, the left, they're on a different planet entirely, as my boy at CNN there says.
Absolutely. I want to give a quick shout out to Angel over here on the X American News chat, and then we got Nikki. We got K&G. K&G says first time listening. Awesome. Thank you for tuning in. We're live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Hop in anytime. We'd love to have you. Emily Ramey in the house here. Esther, Nunya, Thaddeus has been here. We appreciate you, Thaddeus. It says hoping for a big announcement tonight about our relationship with NATO. I'm with you on that, Thaddeus. And then we got Bo over here as well. But yeah, this whole thing with CNN, could you imagine what some of those, like the CNN parakeets, the people who only live, sleep, eat, breathe CNN, their channel doesn't leave CNN, that's all they consume, and they're hearing that for the first time? That's probably part of the reason CNN made that graphic confusing, was to make it easier for those people to digest that. But that's a huge, huge difference in terms of proof. First of all, proof that even CNN is admitting that the majority is 50% plus one. We're at 52% right now, according to them, that the majority of Americans appreciate the hard line that President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance have drawn in the sand and are holding to that in terms of the continuing aid and the peace negotiations and everything like that. So the majority of people are on our side on that. And I think that's pretty big. The fact that CNN had to actually admit that on air, that crushed their soul. And then I just can only imagine some of these people who live in those little echo chambers of CNN all the time, and for the first time accepting the reality that they themselves might be the minority. That's a hard pill to swallow for the first time. And that somebody got a dose of that just yesterday.
Exactly. They've been caught once again standing on the wrong side of history, as they like to say. And yeah, I think every time Harry Enten pops on CNN, whoever has to interview him and go through the data, they're immediately booking another appointment with their therapist. But again, this is just par for the course. it's difficult for them to lie about the numbers when the country is so far on the other side. Eventually, at some point, maybe it won't be till CNN sold off and MSNBC has a new ownership. Hopefully Elon Musk buys them. But it's like somebody throwing a cold bucket of water on them, that they are forced to deal with the reality that the American people are not in line with the leftists and the deep state anymore, that they've woken up to their nonsense and they are firmly aligned in Trump and the American people's camp. And to go back to the comment, what I'd really like to see tonight at the at Trump's speech, I'd like to see him lock the doors and start arresting people that are on Epstein's list. That would be perfect.
Dude, the only reason I say that is Derrick M over here in the chat. I was going to say this the next time I came to the audience, but you brought it in now. Derrick M says, what if the Trump team is ready to strike? How awesome would it be to see a televised mass arrest? Like that would be awesome, to say the least. And so there's some other audience stuff. We'll get to that after the breaks. I know we're going to go to the break. But I just wanted to throw that in there because it tied in. You and Derrick, I guess, great minds think alike there.
That's right. Good job, Derrick. But yeah, that'd be great to see him lock all the doors. And then Trump starts the speech, says the U.S. Marshal Service is going to be here to serve some warrants and make a few arrests. We've finally got the Epstein files from the Southern District of New York, and you criminal bastards won't be able to hide any longer. All right, guys.
I would settle if it was just AOC for her helping the illegals evade. If it was just her, I'd be happy with that. With just one, I'd be tickled to death.
Let's let Tom Homan do the arrest himself and then frog march her out of the event. Oh, it'd be perfect. And then send her to Guantanamo Bay, because yes. I mean, we've got to have somewhere to interrogate her. All right, guys, we got to take a quick break here from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with even more.
When things go sideways, will you be ready? Meet the new Patriot Power Generator 1200, a solar generator that's lightweight with more capacity and more life cycles, and recharges twice as fast, all at a fraction of the price. In a blackout, power lights, TVs, medical equipment, even your fridge. No gas, fumes, or noise. It's safe to use inside your home. This is about peace of mind. To learn more about this amazing generator and get your free solar panel, go to Patriot TV Store and look for the solar generator banner.
What do a neurosurgeon, a country artist, and a television and radio host have in common? They all saw the writing on the wall. Big banks sharing your financial information with big government. Join them as owners in Old Glory Bank, the pro-America online bank that protects your privacy, security, and liberty. Invest today at own.oldglorybank.com.
Well, hello everybody, it's Annie Cyrus. Welcome to my art studio where all the magic happens. This is the station for painting, and that is the station for all the resin art I do. If you want to check out my art, all you gotta do is go to lutfstudio.com. But I'm sure, or at least I hope, I'll see you at lutfstudio.com.
Attention business owners and entrepreneurs. Patriot TV is launching a brand new TV series showcasing American-made products, and your business could be featured. Whether you sell your products online on Etsy or Shopify and dream of reaching millions of viewers on smart TVs like Samsung, Sony, TCL, and LG, or apps like Roku, Android, and Apple TV, this is your chance. We're searching for U.S.-based businesses offering all types of products and services proudly made in the USA. If you've ever wanted to showcase your products on TV like QVC or the Home Shopping Network, now's your opportunity. Support our American economy, grow your business, and be seen by loyal Patriot viewers across the country. Know someone with a business or have a business yourself? Don't miss out. Contact us at supportingpatriots.com today. Be a guest on this new exciting TV series. Let's put your American-made products in the spotlight.
Thank you for staying with us. And again, the best way to support our program and all the great programs here on Patriot TV is by supporting our sponsors.
That's right, guys. And if you're looking for a great place online for news, discussion, entertainment, all that good stuff, then check out True Social. It's President Trump's social media website. You're going to get breaking news stories and commentary from top media figures. If you want to see Trump's legendary True Social posts in person on the platform, then get on True Social today. Join that growing community of patriots on a free speech platform designed to avoid censorship and cancellation by big tech, which we've all experienced in some way or another. So make your voice heard, join the movement, join True Social. And if you do, make sure to give me a follow over there at Derrick Evans. Appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Yes, and actually follow our Ex-American News account over there. We got a decent group already, and it's continuing to grow. Well, we did have a shakeup. I can't remember if we mentioned this on air yesterday or if this went through just afterwards, but breaking: head of New York FBI field office resigns after DOJ says office hid the Epstein documents. Well, this is a good first step, and I imagine they're going to be hauling him in for questioning regarding some other items as well. But we also, let me go ahead and just pull the next one since these are related. Everything's going to come out. AG Pam Bondi says she received truckload of hidden Epstein documents from SDNY. Well, these better be coming out. I mean, she really got egg on her face. This was an unforced error last week with this phase 1 Epstein release. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm mostly been in favor and cheerleading a lot of a Trump majority of what Trump's accomplished so far. But yeah, this was a big unnecessary failure. It would have been much better for her to just come out and throw the Southern District of New York under the bus when she was on with Jesse Waters, and I think people would have understood. But this release was such a giant disappointment, and it was just handled so poorly. So yeah, this better be coming out, and we better see investigations and arrests pronto.
Absolutely. I want to give a quick shout out here to Bo, to HG. Yo, Uncle Benny, I mentioned you earlier. I did not know, man, that you were a fellow January 6th Patriot who's also been pardoned. Congratulations, brother, to you and your family. We survived. We made it. And I just want to give you a special shout out on that. Smash, 1K1 over here. We got Will Cannon. Sorry, guys. I'm fed up. Well, good to see you fed up, as always, in here as well. And if I missed anybody, I'll get you on the next round because the chat here is not very good on X, but I'm making do with what we can. Pam Bondi also said, and this is something that we had kind of alluded to, Mike, last week when everybody was discussing all of this, and then she said it yesterday in the interview, and I think that maybe she should have done a better job, or the Trump administration could have done a better job in the messaging of a lot of this. But like she had mentioned that having Kash Patel confirmed and actually in the position at the FBI has been a game changer in terms of, moving forward and getting all this stuff and everything. And I'm sure that it has been. I have no doubt about that. And so I almost feel like they maybe, and I'm sure if they had to do it all over again, they probably feel the same way. Maybe they should have not tried to push it out as quick as they did. They should have waited until Kash was in that position, making sure they had all their ducks in a row. I appreciate, the transparency, the excitement of them to try to get everything out as quickly as possible. I do think, don't get me wrong, I'm frustrated as well as everybody else, but I think that we as a base need to pump the brakes a little bit right here and give them some grace on this. And the reason I say that is the way that we, and when I say we, I haven't personally, but, at least not publicly, but when I say we, I mean we as a base, the way we've been acting about this in terms of this one mistake that they have made, and it's a big mistake. I'm not trying to downplay it, but the way that we're acting or have been acting is exactly why most administrations are not as transparent. They're just not, because there's way more risk than reward. So I think that we need to show a little bit of grace here in terms of the MAGA base. Now, don't be wrong. If we're a month or so from now and they're still not releasing stuff, nothing's happening, like I'll be joining. I'll get my pitchforks out with everybody else on that. The Epstein list needs to be released. These people need to be arrested. They need to be held accountable, and anybody who is partaking in that needs to be held accountable to the fullest extent. But I do think it was unrealistic on their part even to think that they were going to get all this stuff out before they even got Kash into that position. I believe that's one of the reasons the Democrats slow played the Kash Patel appointment more than any other ones for that matter, is because they kind of know the importance of that. And now that we've got Kash in there, she said that he's going through these documents as well, that there was a truckload of this evidence. So luckily a whistleblower came through. So now they have that. Let's give them some time to see what happens moving forward. But I think that we need to be a little cautious. This is the most transparent administration in my lifetime, and we want to keep it that way. And we keep it that way by understanding and being mature that there are going to be mistakes that are going to happen along the way when you're this open and this transparent with 300 and some million people, or actually the whole entire world, because everybody looks to America. So we need to pump the brakes and just be a little bit patient with this from where I stand.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Anna Paulina Luna tells Matt Gaetz she's not confident about AG Pam Bondi's release of the Epstein client list. We've kind of already covered this, but the other thing that really stuck out to me with some of the statements we've seen from Pam Bondi is that apparently she, and I don't know how you could possibly believe this, but the 120 pages worth of documents that she had was everything. And again, with how big this case is, like, I don't, 120 pages may not even be enough to list the names and the crimes of all the people involved. Again, we've got to give them a little bit of grace. There was obviously a big push to get this out, but that's where sometimes you do have to temper expectations, especially if you want to do things right. Just rushing the stuff out the door like that and not taking the time to go through it, figure out if this really was everything. Because, I mean, again, I think there's very few people, if you handed them 120 pages, would believe that was everything. But again, considering how big this case is and how many people it involves and exactly what's at stake here. But, again, like I said, there is progress now. They fired this guy that was trying to hide the documents. They're probably going to be terminating a number of other people that were either hiding or destroying evidence. And this isn't the only thing the FBI is going to have to be concerned with coming out. There's going to be a lot of cases coming back up. Like this one. Kash Patel and Pam Bondi will learn about this. I suspect heads will roll. Attorney Ty Clevenger responds after FBI refuses to release Seth Rich records on March 10th. And from what I understand, this isn't the first time they've refused. This attorney has been granted access to them multiple times, and the FBI is literally just refusing to obey the law and honor the FOIA request to release these documents. And we all know that's because we suspect that Seth Rich is who handed the information with all the DNC emails and other things over to show the corruption from within their organization.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to Josh C. as me, as well as Monster over in the Rumble chat. Appreciate you guys. In the X chat, we got Jim. We've got Will Cannon. We got Bill Ramey. Bill Ramey says a huge fan of this account and you guys' work. Keep up the great work. Thank you, man, for the feedback. Appreciate that. Yep. Same to Lena here. Unknown Sailor. Olin Tunes. And I'm going to quit with the chats for the time being and catch up later. Look, I think that people are about to really find out how corrupt this entire swamp is. Like, I mean, I know that we toss that term around a lot in terms of drain the swamp and everything. People are about to really start discovering, in my opinion, or already have, for that matter, in under 2 months of President Trump, just how deep and powerful and the different little avenues that the swamp has its hands playing in, if you will. For instance, most people hadn't even heard of that whole situation right there. And we're talking about them refusing to turn that over. So, I mean, how many of these cases exist out there where we haven't even heard of that all this corruption is taking place? So I think that if nothing else, President Trump in his first 2 months has already exposed a lot of this corruption, or at least turned on the light, and we saw the cockroaches take off running, and they were easy to spot at that point. But Kash Patel, Pam Bondi have their hands full. I am confident that they're actually going to do what they say they're going to do. More so Kash than Pam, and I'm nothing against Pam Bondi. I just don't know her. I've met Kash a few times and followed his work for a long time, and so I'm a lot more confident in him just from that standpoint. But I believe that they're all of them are going to, because if not, I think that Trump would have no issues getting rid of them in the middle of all this if he had to do so. I think he's proven that by now.
Yes, and again, it's a whole new Trump this time. So if there is somebody we thought we could trust that's preventing disclosure, heads will roll. And to your point, let's think about all the other scandals that a lot of us forgotten about, like Anthony Weiner's laptop, the Hillary Clinton laptop, all these DNC emails. There's a lot of crimes that were committed in those that became public as this information's come out. So there's a lot of avenues that the FBI needs to investigate, and we still need justice on. And the American people deserve clarity from our federal government. and again, equal justice under the law. So there's going to be a lot of people. Again, if they do their job and they actually pursue these crimes, the exposure is good. The bringing the sunshine in and bringing all this out to highlight it to the American people, that's good. But we do also need justice. We do need people behind bars for a lot of these crimes that were committed. And if there is a case where we, again, exposure is the second best. But guys, we got.
Hold on. I do want to say something to that point. Well, two things. I'm going to read two comments and make a comment. LK Preston in here says, reminded me, it's not even a 2 full months. So much winning already. I agree. Emily says it's crazy that all these unelected officials have truly been the ones running the world. Abolish all the feds at this point. I have to agree with you, Miss Emily, 100%. But what I wanted to say there was, for me personally, I'm with you. Everything you just said, Mike. I'm cool that they're starting to expose this stuff. That's not good enough. Me personally, if there are not mass arrests for these crimes that have been committed, then I don't care whatever else President Trump does. I will personally consider the Trump 4-year term, 47 here, as a disappointment. I'm just going to go on the record right now and say that if there are not mass arrests being made for the people who have been harming children in this country, who have been stealing our money and sex trafficking children all over the country, all over the world, if there's not arrests made for that, or the people who have been facilitating the invasion of our country, who have committed treason against our country, if there are not mass arrests made on those charges and on those crimes, I don't care what President Trump does in any other capacity. I will consider this term a failure in terms of me personally and what I'm looking for in this administration.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, and I want to include Comey and anybody else that's an operative that helped cover these things up, or did their part to like with the Hillary Clinton emails to say, the crimes were committed, but no jury would convict, so we're not going to pursue this. Well, I think it's time to open up those case files again. I also think it's time to prosecute Comey. We know they're looking into a lot of the illegal things that were done in the 2016 election regarding the FBI, illegal spying. So, again, these people are probably not as strong as some people think they are, that once it starts looking like they're going to jail for the next 150 years, I bet a lot of them start talking. But guys, we do need to jump to our next topic here, because the trade wars have begun. All you need to know. Now, what I have on the screen here is an illustration of, and again, shout out to Zero Hedge for putting this together. But this is just to kind of illustrates the trade deficit with Mexico. So in blue, you see Mexico imports from the U.S. Red is Mexico's deficit with the U.S., like how much more they owe to keep balanced trade in each of these items, which again is what they're supposed to be doing. And the only thing I see on this list that's basically even is pulp of wood. Ore and they're pretty close with seeds, grains, and fodder. But regardless, and cereals. But regardless, like look at how many billions of dollars the deficit is just with Mexico. And again, this is kind of like what the point that Trump keeps making. If this were at least like reasonably close, we wouldn't need the tariffs. But the fact of the matter is that most of these countries have been abusing the trade agreements with the United States for 30 plus years, especially Canada, where they have individual taxes, tariffs, and other things on both imports and exports of American and Canadian goods, all benefiting Canada and working out against our interest as Americans.
Absolutely. I give some shout outs, and I'm just laughing at one of them right now. So Rue, Reedy, and then we got two dogs pooping over here as well, which that's what I'm laughing about, obviously, because I'm like a middle school kid in terms of being mature sometimes. But I just wanted to give you guys, Shelly Parsons, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Look, here's the thing with these the tariffs. My brother called me. So my brother he's somewhat political. He's not as into it as we are, but he's way more than the normal person, just like the average person out there. So he's kind of a tweener, I guess. But he called me. He's like, dude, did you see where Trump said that he was going to basically the reciprocal tariffs, like they're charging us this much, we're going to charge them that much. I was like, yeah. He's like, am I dumb? But I just assumed that was always the case. Like, how has this not been happening this entire time? Like, how have we not been like at least even in terms of charging them what they're charging us. I was like, dude, I'm with you. And I think there's a lot of people who didn't know that. I didn't know that. I just assumed, that like we were charging the same amount because that's would make common sense to do that. And then you would only charge, tariffs on the extra that one country was given to the other sort of thing as a way to balance things out. I cannot believe that for decades, probably generations at this point, that we have had these lopsided trade agreements where it's actual just federal subsidies that were given to these other countries. When we all talk about trying to end the welfare programs or the abuse of the welfare programs, I should say, here in the United States of America. Well, I'm with you on that, but I'm at the point where like we should cut off the welfare programs of the federal subsidies that were given to these other countries in terms of lopsided trade agreements. Let's start there, and then we can start worrying about all these other issues here. But it was very eye-opening to me, and I think a lot of people, to see that the reciprocal tariffs were something new. Like, I just thought that was common sense, and it ends up turning out that it's something new that President Trump's trying to bring to the table.
Well, that's the thing that our media keeps missing in this whole tariff war that they don't want to talk about. One, especially with Canada, all the tariffs, taxes, and other fees they're lobbying against us in the way that it's been for decades, like I said. But also, like, we hold all the cards. Canada and Mexico need us as a partner a lot more than we need them. We account for, I think it's 22% of Canada's GDP in trade. They can account for under 2% of ours. And again, we brought this up last time. We kind of dug into this, but these goods aren't static. So all of a sudden, if it's going to cost us more to buy whatever good from avocados from Mexico, they'll just import them from Guatemala instead. So that business will leave Mexico and go to another country. Like Dole owns facilities for avocados in both nations. Same with Canada. Actually, let me go ahead and pull this because they're already playing with fire up there. Cokehead, Ontario Premier Doug Ford threatens to cut off electricity to the U.S., says Republicans will feel pain like they've never felt before. So this is, from what I understand, this would affect about 1.5 million U.S. households. We can, we ought to use this as a call to action. This is yet another reason America needs to be completely energy independent, and we need to rebuild the damage that the Biden administration did, tearing down a lot of these coal-fired power plants and other power plants here within the United States. So it's time to invest in our electrical grid, and this is yet another reason to go down to go that route.
This loser in Canada, like you just said, literally proves our point of how important it is for us to not be dependent on any other country for basic necessities such as energy, for instance. Like there's no reason that any American should ever be sitting around and wondering, like, who is the prime minister of Canada or who is the president of Mexico or any other country for that matter, because I'm afraid they might turn off my electricity if we make them mad. Like, that is the craziest thing I have ever heard of. Especially, it would be different if we were a country that didn't have any other option and we had to do that. That would be different. But we have an abundance of natural resources for our own energy production here in the United States of America. Under President Trump's first term, we were not only energy independent, we were energy dominant. We were a net exporter of energy. That's how much we have in terms of energy options here in this country on the mainland. We don't have to talk about getting into Alaska or any of these other places, which they have an abundance there as well, which I know it's ours. I'm not saying that, but and we're trying to get rare earth minerals in other countries, but like, we have enough right here in the mainland that we don't even have to look anywhere else for the foreseeable future. And that's exactly what we need to get back to. It's unbelievable. Lena over here in the X chat says, I support the Trump tariffs, especially the reciprocal ones. And then Emily Ramey says, let them hate us for free. I agree with you, Emily. There's no reason to pay them to hate us. And so, yeah, appreciate you guys. Keep the comments coming. We've got LK Preston over here as well in the chat. So appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Yeah. And, the other thing that really strikes me with this, and just the reaction from the Democrats and their allies in the media, all these people with brain rot, is we just watched this scenario unfold in Europe multiple times. Well, this war's happened between Ukraine and Russia as Russia's cut off natural gas, or Ukraine bombs the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and then Germany can't get natural gas. we know exactly what happens when you have these kind of problems. So you shouldn't be surprised that we're going to do something about it. But guys, we got to take one more quick break, hear from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with even more.
Attention American business owners, big or small, your company deserves to be seen, and Patriot TV is here to help. We're proud to support American-owned businesses by offering a free listing of your company on Patriot TV Store. That's right, no cost, just visibility to millions of loyal viewers who want to support American businesses like yours. Whether you run a small business or a nationwide company, this is your chance to reach a dedicated audience on Patriot TV Store, on major smart TVs like Samsung, LG, Sony, TCL, Roku, also on Apple, Android, Amazon, Fire Stick, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Truth Social, X, and of course, the Patriot TV Store app and website. It's our way of giving back to the community and helping American businesses thrive. Let's work together to build a stronger America. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Get your free business listing today. Contact us at info@patriot.tv.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait. Remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.
Families across the nation have arrived at a heartbreaking crossroad to surrender their beloved animals at alarming rates due to inflation and soaring costs of living.
There are so many overcrowded shelters. So many dogs need a home, but it's all of us working together to solve this crisis.
This fight requires both doers and dollars. Join us at Big Dog Ranch Rescue. Please sign up today.
If you're about to replace your roof, stop. There's a solution about 80% less expensive. 9 out of 10 roofs can be saved by RoofMax. Guaranteed to extend the life of your current roof by 5 to 15 years at a fraction of the cost of a new roof. RoofMax's deep penetrating power restores flexibility and water protection. Nobody wants to replace their roof. Restore it instead with RoofMax for 80% less. Call now for a free roof inspection.
Thank you for staying with us. And again, the best way to support our program and all the programs here on Patriot TV is by supporting our sponsors.
That's right. And are you guys ready to show your support in style? Sticker Mule has a fantastic offer just for you. For a limited time, you can grab free Trump stickers. Yes, you heard that right. It's 100% for free. Whether you want to decorate your laptop, car, office space, whatever it is, these high-quality, durable stickers are perfect for making a statement. Just imagine how great they'll look, and they're super easy to apply. Here's how it works. You want to head over to stickerpack.com, sign up and claim your free stickers, and watch the fun unfold. Don't miss out on this exclusive offer. Stock is limited, so act fast, spread the word, and let your voice be heard with Sticker Mule's awesome stickers. Once again, visit stickerpack.com today and grab your free Trump stickers before they're all gone.
Yeah, and keep in mind, the owner of Sticker Mule paid for that giant Trump statue. I think they just put that at their facility over there in New York. Yeah, we had a story. I'm actually scrolling through, seeing if I still got it on our queue here, because I know we never got to it. A great picture of Trump standing defiantly after being shot in Pennsylvania. But let's go ahead and roll into. I'm going to skip around. I got a couple things I want to cover before we wrap here.